Hello and welcome back. It is Jack Mack with High Top Sports Georgia coming to you with a raw reaction after the Dogs beat the Gators 34-20 on Saturday afternoon. Coming to you a little later than envisioned. As you can hear, my voice still recovering from cheering on the Dogs. Saturday afternoon was unfortunately in the Florida section. So, had to chirp a little bit throughout the game, and with how close it was, there was a lot of chirping for a long time. So it's coming back a little bit. Georgia got the win, but I'm tired. And I think most Georgia fans are tired of coming to you, or me coming to you, after a win, but after a very sloppy performance from Carson Beck. And let's start there. I mean, I've been calling it inconsistent quarterback play from Carson this season, but really he's been consistently bad. He's got 11 interceptions this season. He has no control of the offense. He looks scared at times. It's a serious problem. And it's safe to say at this point, I mean, this Georgia team, no matter what they got on defense, no matter the pedigree we got with Kirby Smart at the helm, this team will go as Carson Beck goes. If he can somehow figure it out, break up with his girlfriend at some point by the end of the year, by the playoff, then who knows? Maybe Georgia can win a natty. But as things stand now, and him still looking like a young quarterback in this offense, we're halfway through the year. He's a fifth-year senior. He's been with the program for years. Got to see the best ever do it, Stetson Bennett. And there's a regression. I listened to Todd McShay, and he's right. There's been a clear regression from Carson Beck from last year to this year, and you don't see that too often, especially out of a guy that everyone is saying could go first round, not even first round, top 10 picks, top 5 picks, first quarterback off the board. And it has been very disappointing for him and for us Georgia fans watching it. I mean, we thought this was going to be a year where we're really going to see a next step with this Georgia offense. Stetson Bennett was great, but I think we didn't realize how great he was while we were watching it. I mean, how great would it be to have a Stetson Bennett right now, being able to control the offense, run around a little bit? It's just night and day difference watching Carson Beck operate right now. And I mentioned earlier jokingly, but I'm not joking, about the girlfriend. I mean, that's what I can see as a difference from last year to this year. This girlfriend on social media, I don't know if that's making him nervous, playing mind games with himself. But I don't know. We may need some Georgia students to create some online controversy. Hey, we saw Carson at Hedges. That's how old I am. We saw Carson at the bar with these girls, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what we need to do, Georgia fans? We might have to get creative to get this Cavender girl out of the picture. We need our quarterback locked in. We're in November. We got Ole Miss. We got Tennessee. We got an SEC championship to win. Let's throw this out the window. You can reunite with her during the draft for all I care, Carson, but put the team first. Show the NFL execs, show these top round guys that you're about the team. Because right now, I'm not who's to say that this Cavender is the reason. I'm just saying I want to see my quarterback pull it out of the stops. I mean, to show that he is about winning, I need to see a guy with no distractions in his head. Like I said, we got Ole Miss, we got Tennessee, we got some games we need to win in the regular season to put ourselves in a good spot for the playoff. So it may seem extreme, but Carson Beck needs to be focused. And if single Carson Beck is what Georgia needs, and single Carson Beck is what we need. That wasn't the only problem on Saturday. Carson Beck is the main issue. And like I said, he will win us the natty or he will lose us the natty. But I think Bobo is not putting us in a position, putting Carson in a position to succeed down after down. Carson Beck is throwing the ball in harm's way. I mean, picks get worse. That's the trend. Like, the first one throws into double coverage. Second one throws into triple coverage. The decisions seem to get worse. Once he makes one, he starts to press, tries to force a ball when he doesn't need to. And I think Bobo needs to help him out a little bit more. Again, quarterback, it's your decision to make the throws, make the decisions. You're the one on the field. But I'm going back to the shotgun thing. I hate this Georgia offense in the shotgun 95% of the time. I mean, there is no threat of a legit play action. Yeah, you can do play action out of the shotgun, but it doesn't hit the same. I mean, just thinking about the few times we went under center, I think it's been less than 5 this year. One toss sweep at Texas, ETN goes around the edge for 6. This week, Frazier does the exact same thing. I know it's a small sample size, but why not? You're on the other side of the 50, on your own side of the 50, throw in a toss sweep, throw in a play action pass where Carson Beck is under center, play action, rolls out to the right, just a quick, been watching some John Gruden, spider 2 wide banana. We need some of that. We need some under center, roll out to the pass, flip it to Oscar Delp, flip it to Lawson Lucky. You get him going. I mean, just have some variation from 7-on-7, drop back and pass, 3-step, throw to my first read. That's what it is right now. And so most of the time, Georgia can get away with things like that because we have better athletes. We can just say, all right, Carson, find your guy. Our guy's better than that guy. We got a matchup here. But again, we're getting into nut-cracking time here with going to Ole Miss. Got Tennessee coming in. We need to see some change. Not a ton. And I don't think it probably won't happen. I don't think Bobo's the type of guy to do these type of things middle of the season, but we need to see some type of change, some variation, off script plays, just to, if nothing else, to settle Carson down. I loved us in the second half, leaning on some of these screens. I mean, our 2 touchdowns, the first one to Cash Jones, just a little HB choice, cuts inside, beats his guy, easy decision for Carson Beck, touchdown. Get our guys in space. Dominic Levitt on the second one. Just a quick wide receiver screen, makes a guy miss, touchdown. Things like that have really been the one consistent thing in this offense is the screen game. We've been pretty successful at times with that, and that's usually what we go to when we need a play, especially in the red zone. We love these screens. So give Bobo props for that, and we need to take it a step further. Take it a step further, go under center, just bring this offense back a little bit. It's okay. I mean, Beck has shown that this offense with these players, it may have worked better last year. But guess what? We had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers as a huge security blanket whenever shit got real. He would just throw it to Brock, throw it to Ladd, they make a play. Those guys are not walking through that door anytime soon for the rest of the year. So again, let's pound the rock. Let's get back to Georgia football. There was a little bit more of a ground and pound attack with Florida in the second half. We ran the ball a lot more, and I like that. But I want to see it under center. So I look to Bobo to I'm not asking for a ton, dude. Just change a little bit, man. Show the fans that you can see, all right, my quarterback's struggling. We might need to lean on different parts of the offense. Defensively, they kept us in the game like they have been for the last couple months during Carson Beck's struggles. Turnovers, that turnover, going blank, Braylon Allen in the middle, KJ Allen, I'm sorry, to end the game, essentially. What a freakish play. Had a couple big hits. Daniel Harris driving safe at the game Saturday. We love him in uniform. Big hit on that screen. It seems like Georgia, some of those little hits, it doesn't have to be a turnover, really turns the tide, gets the defense really attacking downhill, getting after the quarterback. These hard hits, it may sound cliche, but I see it. When Georgia got that hit against Texas, Dalen Everett off the edge against Quinn Ewers, you could feel it. That it shifted the momentum. Same thing with that screen. Daniel Harris, boom. You could feel it shift in the stadium. So this defense, whenever it seems like we may be in trouble, Carson Beck doesn't have his stuff, the defense has performed. They've gotten better each and every week, starting to create more turnovers. So the defense is playing lights out right now. I didn't like that last touchdown they gave up to a third-string quarterback. But for the most part, that's been our MVP over the last few weeks, is just this defense as a whole, the emergence of these corners. Dalen Everett, I know he had the big game at Texas, but Daniel Harris had a big game. KJ Bolden had a couple big hits. The secondary, the much maligned secondary after that Alabama game, let Miller go crazy on them. they had Milroe conversations on Monday morning after that Bama game saying Milroe is going to go number one. That's how bad these cornerbacks were playing. And they've really taken the challenge. Kirby has gotten into him, I'm sure. Kirby being an ex-secondary guy himself, I'm sure he's challenged them, and they have responded. So defense, let's give a good clap for the D. Heck of a performance. Need that. I mean, we need that times two probably with Ole Miss going to Oxford this Saturday. I'm going to get into that in just a second. But to clean up this Florida game, look, it's a rivalry game. We talked about it. We almost got the backdoor cover, but we won. We won going away in the fourth quarter, got a couple stops, and hopefully this propels us like it did. And I talked about this before the game, is this Florida game is usually what propels Georgia. There's a different look to this Georgia team after they play Florida. And we need it this year more than ever. We need, because again, we don't have Lab McConkey. We don't have Brock Bowers in these big time games coming up for Carson Beck to, all right, hey, make three guys miss, get a play. We're not going to have that. So defensive intensity heading into Oxford, we're going to need it times two. Ole Miss just put up 60 in Arkansas. So we got our work cut out for us. But again, love the togetherness of this Georgia unit. I mean, you could see no one's, even with how bad Carson Beck has played recently and the fans have been getting after him, you can tell he has not lost the huddle. The guys still know, and I've heard some of that over the past couple of days. Oh, Gunnar Stockton, time for Gunnar Stockton. Look, Carson Beck, again, is going to be the guy to either win us or lose us the Natty this year. He's going to be the guy the rest of the way, barring injury. And the guys know that. The wide receivers know that. They're picking them up. You can see him in the huddle. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more out of Carson firing some guys up. But, I mean, the other guys have his back. I mean, that's clear to see. So I know we talked a little bit about Billy Napier, hot seat, and just to clean up that side of it. This is Georgia Channel. But he showed me something. I did not expect once DJ Lagway went out, I did not expect them to stay in the game. You could tell that Florida, fights for Billy. And I watched Shelton's recap, and they're getting a little tired of the moral victories. But I mean, they fought hard. I mean, it is a moral victory, but still, the third string walk-on quarterback going against Georgia, competing until the fourth quarter, it's impressive. For me, I think that performance right there, we'll see what they do against Texas, buys him at least the rest of the year. I think they, it's going to be hard to fire him, especially if they got this walk-on playing the rest of the year. So, hey, maybe Billy's got a little bit more than even I thought. Some juice that this team does rally around him. I mean, it's clear as day. A lot of teams could have folded against Georgia with a third-string quarterback, and they did not. So, who knows? Georgia fans may be seeing some more Billy in the years to come. But anyway, Georgia wins 34-20. Get a shout out to Cash Jones. I mean, the guy, I'd love to see some more work out of him. Frazier got the most carries out of any of our running backs, but Cash Jones, he's got if there was a plus minus, NBA's got plus minus, Cash Jones's plus minus would be astronomical. Every time he's in the game, makes a big play on special teams. Get hat tip to Cash Jones. Dominic Lovett, he was MIA for the past 2 months. He showed up. He looked like the number one option again this Saturday. Good play on that touchdown, shrugging the guy off him like it was nothing. So good to see those guys get back and get back in the swing of things. Dylan Bell didn't do a ton, had that end around play, but got to have Dominic Lovett and Dylan Bell playing good at the same time. And I know that goes back to Carson Beck. But still, hat tip to those two guys, Dom Love, Cash Jones. And there we go. Dogs got the win. Dogs on top. That's what's important. We survived Jacksonville. And now it's on to Oxford. I'll be getting more in depth into that game later this week. Me and JT actually later this afternoon are going to come at you with a SEC preview. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear what you Georgia fans are thinking. If y'all are on the same page as me with Carson Beck, being that he's going to be the guy the rest of the year. If you guys maybe think Gunnar Stockton needs a go, see if he gives us a better look. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about Carson Beck and his struggles, if you think he can turn it around or what have you. But other than that, go Dogs. Jack Mack with High Top Sports. We'll be back later today. Have a good one.